everyone, I'm so excited to flip this finished swatch book, which I thought I only had a couple of pages left, but then I realized they weren't double pages in most of the sketchbooks, so I went back and I started filling up every page or half page or back of a page with every art supply that I have. And now I have a nice library in one place to refer to if I ever think, oh, I think I have a similar color or a color that I need in this art supply, and I can quickly refer to it and check whether that's the case. So it's a very useful thing to have. I highly recommend that you purchased a semi-affordable but still a good quality sketchbook. Just don't go for the very expensive ones, because I think there is no point to just dedicate your swatches or the very expensive sketchbook to your swatches. So yeah, do the logistics, but basically I recommend to have one, whichever you go for. So let's do the flip, and I hope you will enjoy it as much as I did kind of finishing everything up. And I gave it even a title, which I usually don't do, but yeah, I decided to give it a nice little title and the year that I finished it in. I tried to think when I actually started it, and believe it or not, it was when I started the channel. I think either when I started it or just before. So these were the first swatches that I did, which is the Prima Watercolor Confections set, and that must have been a good 4 or 5 years ago. So these were then filled in recently. So let's start. So this is in terms of a sketchbook, this is a Caddy papers sketchbook, and it's 210 GSM. It says smooth, but in actual fact it's quite textured. So it's not really a smooth, but they have rough, which is even more textured. So these are my Posca paint markers, and I swatched out the skin tone set and those that I bought kind of in, I think this was a set as well, and then some of the open stock as well. Here are the Molotow acrylic markers, which I really like and enjoy. Poison green is really stunning color, and some of those as well. Love them. This was also their skin set. I was thinking, actually, I have kind of a few markers in acrylic and alcohol markers, as well as water soluble markers that are in skin tones. On the shelf, just talking to you, I can see 4. I wonder if I have anything else anywhere else. Oh yeah, and I have a 5th one which I bought recently, which is this Winsor & Newton pigment marker. So 5 sets in skin tones. Let me know down below if you would be interested in a swatch video for those. Right, so back to Prima watercolors, the classic. So these were the craft grade. Neocolor 1, Caran dash. So Neocolor 1 are basically the ones that are wax based, or both of them are wax crayons, but this is a permanent one. It's not water soluble. The Neocolor 2 is water soluble, however. Prima Watercolor Confections Tropical. So you can see I used to swatch them just on this paper, on this page here on this side, and then later I went in and filled in the other pages. So this is the Tropicals set. And then Neocolor 2, so these are the water soluble, and they're super pretty. I'm thinking to just zoom you in a little bit, but then I'll have to shuffle between the pages. So then this is the Daleroni watercolor Aquafine pocket set, and this was the first ever watercolor set that I purchased. This was back at college. The plastic of the palette was white originally, but it has yellowed over the years, so it's sort of a really vintage thing now. But I love keeping it in my drawer with the rest of the watercolor palettes, just to remind myself of the beginning of my art journey, of the very beginning. Now these couple of pages are a little bit messy, and I later realized that I don't like keeping much information on the swatches. It just becomes too busy, too cluttered. I just like a nice big swatch with a nice little title. So you will see kind of, this is sort of where I like it now, and this is how it was. A bit sort of haphazard, but again, here is the Nievska Palitra Original 24 set, and then some of the new colors that I have been adding. And here we have the Gansai watercolor set, which I ordered from Choosing Keeping. I didn't write down, I think this was the 50s or the 60s set. And those are the colors, also nice and big swatches. So that's that. Don't know if it was in frame before. Here we have Kuretake Gansai Tambi watercolor set of 36. Again, I haven't used that one for a little bit, and it's a really fun watercolor set. Shiva artist paint sticks, I decided to stick them in here as well. Lovely texture once they dry. These are basically oil paints in a form of stick, and they create lovely texture. Just bring it up closer to you. So there you go. Derwent Watercolor Pencils set didn't work really well on this paper, I felt. But yeah, swatched it anyhow. Sennelier oil sticks, love them, and I left some space for more. So if I ever wanted to add a couple more colors, in some cases I can add them on these pages because there's some space left. And Derwent Inktense Water Soluble. Now these are also oil sticks, but I find that this color here, the indigo blue, is so intense, it's sort of printed off on here. Maybe because it was still not fully dry. They shouldn't be rubbing off once they dry anyway, because they become permanent, but just in case I kept a bit of a onion paper or whatever it's called. Derwent Inktense Water Soluble ink pencils. Those were the first pencils that I have ever bought, a set of 72, and just really went to town with it. Every color, it doesn't look like much on here, honestly. Again, the paper doesn't work for them here, but they are really vibrant. Then we have Miguel Mission Gold. Now this is again the continuation of the Derwent Inktense pencil set. Here we have on the 3 pages, and then on this side I have now done the final swatches, the 2 last pages before I'm filming this video. It's the Miguel Mission Gold watercolor set. I think it's the 36 colors, which come in a little tube and you squeeze it out into a palette. Really love that set. The colors are beautiful. Miguel is known for their vibrancy as well, so if you love color, do check this set out. And I don't know why, but at the minute I am so much more attracted by this beautiful page. I just want to rip it out, put it in a frame and hang it on my wall. I know, as dramatic as it sounds, but it is just beautiful. I mean, what else can you say to that? I mean, look at this color. I know some of you won't agree, and we happily disagree, or happily agree to disagree with colors, because colors is such a personal choice. It's such a subjective matter. It's such a subjective matter, and you know, it all depends what you're into, and I mean, yeah, color, you know. I'm wearing a chartreuse hoodie because lately chartreuse, I love, love, love chartreuse. So, yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, it's a style, it's part of your lifestyle, it's part of everything. Color is just the most amazing thing in my mind. So currently this is my theme here. Okay, let's move on. So these were the last ones from the Inktense pencils. Winsor Newton pigment markers. So those were these ones here. And these are the colors from the skin tone set. Faber-Castell Mix and Match 12 gelatos. So I haven't used those in forever. Actually, I should maybe give them to Mason. He would now enjoy them. He's been enjoying his art and actually swatches. I got him a little sketchbook and I said, look, just practice mixing colors and work with your swatches, and he's been really enjoying it. I'm fascinated. He creates these lovely color mixes, you know, really pretty color mixes. So I think, you know, mixing color is such a fun thing to do. Liquitex acrylic ink. Now these are quite lovely. And I'm so glad I swatched it out on a bigger scale because it literally looks like acrylic paint. But all it is just this little baby, acrylic ink. So it comes with a pipette. As always with acrylic inks, first give them a nice little mix or shake. And the pipette here, I think it's a plastic one, and then just do your thing. So yeah, this one has been a big surprise. I really love the rich bronze and bright gold, both iridescent. Next we have Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So these were from the crafting days, which I never really truly got into in the end. I realized later all I was there for is the color. That's it. Didn't really enjoy the card making or scrapbooking. I tried, I gave it a go, it just was not my thing. So yes, but I do still like the colors. This is really pretty mustard with some bronzy, and then the peach with some peachy bronze there, or gold or whatever it is. Really pretty colors. Then we have Daniel Smith. Now this is just a small percentage of the colors that I have accumulated over the years, and that's that. Over here, these are actually Magello Mission Gold watercolors that I have swatched out here. So Exhibit A, this is how it was originally done. Very small swatches, and I decided for some reason to put pigment info in there, and like I said before, just that's way too much info and not enough color. So then I swatched them out here on one page, which is much better, but I find this is a lot more satisfying. So I wish I'd just done that here without this, and it would have been beautiful just to have it on a spread like that, you know, two pages facing each other. But that's what it is. Sometimes it takes years to develop your style, even in swatches. Then we have drawing ink. So I've got some diamine inks here, which I absolutely love. So I've got 6 by now. And then these were just sort of random inks, and my Emma by Rora and Klingner really separated, had a weird smell to it, and even more less pleasant was another ink that I think I should just put in the bin, because I think it's gone off. This was also from the college years. I kept it, so it must have been a good 18 years, something like that now, close to 20 actually. So yeah, I don't know what the shelf life for them is. Now this is the Abraxas Rosa Rosen, and I have since moved it away from my desk. kind of kept it on my desk because it's so pretty to look at, and I felt so precious to open it up. I mean, it was really expensive. This little bottle set me back quite a bit, and I have to say I was really underwhelmed. It's like there is nothing about it that is that remarkable. So yeah, I'm not sure what. Maybe it's made from like organic matter, or I don't know, it was handmade or something like that. I mean, there must be a reason why they're so precious and expensive, but in art, I didn't find it to be phenomenal. I get so much more pleasure working with diamine ink, that they're just stunning. I mean, what you can create, the darker tone versus the lighter, and it just really behaves like a watercolor with a lot of beautiful pigment, whereas this one, there wasn't anything interesting happening there. Very underwhelming. Schmincke Academy Watercolor Set. This was another funny one. I bought this one thinking, this is back in the day when I first started with watercolor, not knowing much. I bought this Academy set thinking it was a student grade, thinking it was an artist grade, which would have been Horadam. I didn't know that Academy meant student grade and Horadam meant artist grade. So then I painted a little bit, and again I wasn't too impressed, and then I started looking into it and I realized it was student grade. So I know a lot of people say that it is great quality, and yes, it is great quality, but it's quite expensive, I think, if you are starting with watercolor. And why not pay a little bit more and get an artist grade set, in my mind, or, you know, just buy something quite affordable to practice with. And then we have Dr. Ph Martins Hydras Fine Art Watercolor, and that's what it is. Haven't really found a way of using it that much. Schmincke Horadam. Now this is where I then discovered the Horadam watercolors, and you can see I went for the 36 plus 12 set, so 12 spaces were empty, and it had 36 half pans in, which were these original colors, and then I started adding more colors, and quite a few were from 2017 release, and that's how I went about it. And since then I have added even more tubes and all sorts of things. Then we have Dr. Ph Martins Radiant Concentrated Watercolor. So the previous one was Hydras, which is basically a light fast type of watercolor. These are dye based, and so they're not light fast. They do fade out with time, especially if you display them in light. And but they have more vibrancy and definitely more transparency in them. Scenery Botanical Watercolor Set by Billy Showell. I wasn't first impressed by Scenery watercolors judging by this set. However, I have to say I tried a couple of colors which were really nice. So I wouldn't dismiss it as a watercolor brand anymore, but I would definitely not, personally, I would not buy a big set from them. I mean, purely because I already have so much, but also because I don't think they would be any better than what I already have. And but I would buy some open stock colors of their tubes. Yeah, why not? Core High Chroma. Now, I am a big fan of Core High Chroma and M. Graham watercolors as well. They're super vibrant and just really beautiful colors as well. Peerless Watercolor Complete Edition. So I think this was the first set I have ever bought. Again, dye-based, very interesting type of a watercolor. If you're new, I'll just quickly show you. So you can get different sets. I think this was the first one that I bought, and then This one is the bonus pack with all the additional colors, and then this one was sent to me by my lovely viewer and follower. Thank you so much. And yeah, so basically they are strips of paper like so, and they have the die on one side, so the opposite side of where it says the color here. And if you cut them up into little squares, you can make a nice little palette. So like this. And then you can use a bit of a water and a bit of a brush. In fact, you can use one of those portable. I'm just trying to see where I have one on my desk. Basically one of those. Let me just grab you one to show you. Yeah, one of those brushes would do. These are by Pentel, and that one is Caran Dash, or not. This is Alton. You also have a lovely one by Caran Dash, and off you go. You just, you know, pump the water into the compartment there, and you can do your on the go fun bits and pieces. This one is expressive face tones. So actually number 6, I realized, in terms of skin tone set. So